Alright, hey everyone. Um, oh yeah, that's right. I need to make sure that I was trying to remember what it was I was supposed to do. and yeah, I have to make sure that the latest patch is in the description and that the stream is properly named. Sorry, I'm actually doing this on the stream. That's kind of funny. After a patch. I just released a large patch for Project Stray, and now need to update on feedback and uh, next goals, which I'm going to be going over in a second. So the next goals for this, and then I got to make sure that the latest Steemit post is linked, so you can actually see the patch notes. And all right, I'm good now. Download link explanation. There we go. All right, golden. Slight delay. Uh, hey, what's up, Jacoby? I was like so scattered trying to figure out what I wanted to do right away in the beginning of the stream that I forgot that I had to update the stream's like title and stuff like that. It's annoying. Anyway, with that said, I'm gonna go over the patch notes and um, go over pretty much anything else, uh, at least semi-related to this. So like try to say new build and patch notes. I did a whole bunch of stuff uh, over the last week, and hopefully this week will also have a bunch of stuff as well. So I added a new Trello board, and I'm still filling information out about the Trello board, but like now you can see, um, hey, where's the checklists on these guys? What the hell, Trello? Is there like a limited number of checklists that I'm allowed to do? Monster completion list. Yeah. So like they don't have meshed and animated rigs. They're not mesh. The mesh is not rigged and animated. Death with gore and dismemberment. Alert sound, idle sound, pain sound, like all this stuff is just not filled out, and that's pretty much true for all of these guys. Yeah. I guess it was just the regular zombie that for some reason didn't have the checklist on them. But so the monsters are 2 of 9 as far as things that I need for them to be in what I would consider to be a acceptable releasable state. But the guns, oh, I don't have checklists for the guns yet. So I'm still filling out things and like putting in information on what it is that I'm trying to accomplish with each of the levels. But you can see like a full list of the levels that I want to have for the first episode. You notice that everything after level 2 is like is to be announced. Like I don't know the names or the themes of what these levels are going to be and stuff like that yet. But that's not going to be too bad because once I can start getting my head out of the technical side of things, which I'm kind of seeing the end of the light at the end of the tunnel on that front. Hey, what's going on? It's Krylazek, right? Krylazek. Is that correct? Krylazek? Krylazek? Um, let's see. So the next goals, because I went through like all this on the patch notes and everything like that, everything that I had fixed, and I added in the auto map system, the reworking of the first battle area, Enemies should stop shooting you when you're dead, but the zombies will still eat you and stuff. So you get killed by a bunch of zombies, you'll still like the death screen will be like there, and you'll still hear them like nomming down on you. Um, and all of the guns are in, all of them. There's 24 guns at the moment, something like that, and that's not counting the melee weapons, which is another goal where when you press the melee attack, you'll actually see the weapon come in, and like on the screen, you'll see like whatever melee weapon you have equipped like come onto the screen real quick and be like, phew. It'll kind of look a little bit like Minecraft or Terraria, where there's just like a big melee weapon just comes down. Not really sure how that's going to work with Fist, but Fist will kind of work that way too. Or I might remove Fist from the game simply because it doesn't look good, because you have to have like a arm. um, yeah, all the weapons are high res now. All the weapons are in. The barrels do spin independently. In fact, I will show that off a little bit. If it's not already the case, I think I showed that off yesterday. But yeah, been trying out the version you put out just before the stream. That's good. You said you played for like an hour. Just call me James. All right. If you want, you can join in my Discord and you can talk to me about your feedback. That's totally fine, actually. Because for the most part, the main things that's going to happen in the stream today is I'll be going over what my next goals are set up to be on the Trello. And I'm actually thinking that the first thing, the major priority for this next patch, and it will also give me a chance to kind of chill for a little bit, is finishing the art, like just do an art pass, a full out art pass on the dark base. So that that level no longer looks like a big bunch of gray boxes with nothing in it. I have a feeling that that will be the best bang for the buck change to the game. That way people don't have to like look at the block mesh and wonder if that's what I intended to do in the first place, which is something that happens a lot. Like people ask me, it's like, wow, man, like you forgot to like put textures on or something. Like, no, that's just part of the design process. I'll wait after the stream so you can talk without interruptions. Oh, whatever. I interrupt myself, if anything. Anyway, so yeah, that's the main thing I'm thinking right now is going to be the first thing that I have to do, and that's not really going to take me that long, even though the Dark Base is a fairly large level. It's only half the level, and that's right up before you get to the point where there's a new game plus entity, and it also gives you a chance to loop back around so that you can do that. So it's really about it, like, but the other things that need to happen are a lot of bugs, like player can press escape while dead. That kind of fucks with things. Player can drag the view around, so while you have when you press E and you go in your inventory, and if you hold down left mouse button, the player, you can like move around the player's view. Death with no items leaves an empty loot pickup. Doesn't do anything. That should probably just self-delete or something as soon as it's created, or not be created in the first place. Imps very often have 1 health when you hit them with a sniper rifle. I've noticed this, and it happens with the revolver too. Like, you do a giant chunk of damage, and the damn things have like 1 health left. I don't know. I mean, I could probably fix that a couple of different ways. I can make the weapon maybe a tiny little bit stronger, which I did do with the Magnum, but like the sniper rifle, yeah, it's annoying. Weapons intersect walls, so if you walk up to a wall with your gun out, the gun will go into the wall. I mean, that's a really like low level bug, but it's a polished thing, and it's probably not really that hard to fix. Just have it set up so that there's a trace being shot out, and if the player, and if it hits something, then the gun just moves back. Um, Tooltip should appear while over the entire icon. I could probably just do that right now. It's like a so easy thing. Don't allow player to accidentally fast travel to a location the player is already located. Actually, I'm going to move this one to um, the fast travel rework, because there's a bunch of stuff going on with the fast travel rework. Let me continue on this though. Hologram item, like I have like a hologram underneath the auto map, so just like a aesthetic polished thing, so that when you have an auto map out, it looks like there's like a thing on the ground where it's just sort of hologram. Just a little bit more. Points of interest should have colors. Super easy to do. Tooltip should appear while over the entire item icon. Tooltip should appear while over the entire item icon. I already said that, didn't I? Fast travel, hide locations that are not discovered. Yeah, I need to do that. That's actually part of the fast travel rework. And let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Battle cube effect should appear before. Effect should appear before enemies spawn. So one thing that I noticed a lot of people worry about is like when an enemy spawns like on top of them. So I'm not going to sugarcoat this on. I want the game to be pretty hard. This is not going to be an easy game, so like if enemies are spawning near you and you weren't ready for it, you kind of deserve to take some damage. But with that said, it is unfair. So what I'm going to do, what I think I'm actually going to do is when the battle cube is active, there's going to be little markers that indicate where the spawn points are. So you can see where stuff might spawn. So you at least know not to be next to that thing. Like you kind of have a chance to be ready. Like, oh shit, I'm standing in like a whole bunch of spawn points. Maybe I should move. So like, and that's it. And it'll just be like a really simple little effect, maybe a little like thing on the ground or something like that that you can see. Okay, shit spawns here. I need to be kind of ready for that. But you don't know what, and you don't know when. So it's still going to be really tough, but it's not going to be like unfair. Where like, why did I get killed because like 20 things spawned on top of me? So that's what I'm probably going to do with that. Increase melee weapon range. That's I'll worry about that later because I'm reworking the melee weapons in the next the following patch after this. Earning credits is not obvious enough. A damage direction indicator, improved tinting for loss of health. So damage screen. I was just gonna buy something off the marketplace. I was looking like there has to be a generic like first-person shooter like jam on the fucking screen. At least something that I can kind of work with damage indicator for, but there isn't. Nobody did one. Like, it would have been such an easy purchase. It would have been like, oh, well, you just saved me fucking hours. Like, but nothing. There's not one fucking thing that turns the screen red and gives you a damage directional indicator when you take damage. It's like, damn, that would be like the easiest thing in the fucking world. How come nobody's doing this? Anyway, how's it going, Alley Cat? Alright, I've been kind of ranting about this. So, let's see. Oh, I do have my Discord set up. I have a little channel. I am idling in it right now. And that is for, yeah, like, if you guys want to jump in, Alicat, if you want to jump in, you're more than welcome. I could at least give you the link. It's my girlfriend's Discord channel, but Like, I hang out there all the time anyway. So let's see. I just linked it. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, man.
I'm going to be talking with a slight delay because if I try to communicate directly over Discord, it's going to probably come off a little like you're going to hear my voice twice. I wonder how long that delay is. Oh man. Like,
I think it's something along the lines of 10 seconds.
damn, 10 seconds. Yeah, this is why I think Discord doesn't really mix with with streaming. It is a cool idea though. I don't know if I can even change that 10 seconds. I'm waiting 10 seconds. Alright, so with that said, the tooltip system, equipment should display stats. Tooltip should appear while on top of the icon. Tooltip should appear while over any part of the icon, any part of inventory icon. Right now the tooltip only appears if you have it hovering over the actual graphic. I did it that way because I kind of think that it would be that it was, you know, it's a little bit better to do it that way, but if you don't do but if I leave it that way, a lot of people won't even think that the tooltip exists. They will think that the only thing that gives tooltips is when you have the armor equipped. So there's nothing really much you can do about that. Let's see. I did end up getting a whole bunch of feedback last night about the demo, like ton of stuff. So that's where a lot of this stuff is coming from right now. So yeah, like I think the Dark Base is gonna get some new art. I'll have to think about it a little bit exactly what I want to do. So I might pick off a couple of easy things from this first. I'm not really sure what to take on yet. Although, imagine this sound is too loud. So, kind of lower this down a little bit more. So one of the things I'm going to do differently with this area here is I'm going to change the way this whole section flows. So there isn't even going to be a doorway over here anymore. The reason why is because the only way to progress to the next area, I'm going to force the player to have to use the fast travel network. So basically when you set this up, the first area, the cargo hold, which is probably going to get renamed because it doesn't make any sense, will be available. And I'm not going to allow you to go to a place that you already exist because I know like a very large portion of players are going to walk right up to this thing and they're going to go, oh wow, I can go to the Forgotten Sanctuary. This is already where you are. You're already here. So what I want is for the only thing to appear basically is going to be the cargo hold, and then eventually Soldier's Overlook. The location that you currently are and the locations that you haven't discovered yet outside of the first one are just not going to be visible on the list. So yeah, you'll just see the first area for the Dark Base, and this won't even be a door, but there will be a way to get back here to this section, but it'll be a secret. It's actually not going to be part of the regular flow. Like if you find your way to this spot, there'll probably be like a staircase that leads up here, or some kind of like way to get up there, and the door will actually be up there instead. And maybe there'll be like some one-time loot up that way, and you drop down and you can get back into this section. So it's like a secret, and that's also important because you know, it's taking you back to a familiar area, but also because the only way to get to the Hermes boots is up this way. So like if players are searching around, so this is like a double secret now. And like whatever's up there. That also gives me an opportunity to put stuff that you can't reach yet and stuff like that. Like you can see things that you can't get. That's already a thing. There's going to be a secret like item up there. You can't get that until you get the super jump or the jump boots or whatever. So there's going to be stuff that you can't reach in the hub area until you get like better movement, or if you come from a different direction. And that's that. So the I'm not exactly sure how I want to go about changing the flow. I might actually add another area to the dark base, but yeah, cargo hold. I might change the way some things actually function on that front. How's it going, Alleycat? There's like a 10-second delay for me to communicate back to you. And let's see. Yeah, it's awkward. I might actually just turn my mic on in Discord so it's easier for me to communicate. But then I warn you guys, if you're in here, if you're in the Discord, mute the stream or something. Anyway, so let me speed up the camera. This whole level is going to get attention first, I think. I think this is going to be the most important thing, that if I can get this out of the way, then I'll be in the best shape possible for being able to like say that the game is in the only thing about the game is that it's lacking content. That's the kind of condition I want it to be in. So this whole area will be arted, but this is actually now going to be a secret. So I'm gonna figure out how I want to make this a secret here. And I'm thinking that instead of the first place to teleport in being over here, I actually think that I'm going to make another room over in this direction. And I had a couple of ideas about how I want to do this, but like this room over here might actually even have an entrance to another level, but have it be like something that you're not supposed to do until way later, or something along those lines. Like have some kind of a thing where it's like, the first thing you see is that in this area is that you can't go that way. Like, I'm trying to think about it. Like, I mean, I'm gonna try and make it obvious that like you're supposed to go this direction and then kind of like drop down into here, and you might not see the secret here, and then you can go forward. But if you're paying attention while you're in this area, you'll notice that if you go the opposite direction, there'll be like an entrance to a place that you're not supposed to go yet, that's like way over your level or something, and you're not supposed to go that way. So like I was kind of thinking of doing it that way. So that kind of like shows that, yeah, I do have like plans to like give you like multiple paths. Stream muted, my voice coming through. Let's see. Okay, I unmuted my voice in Discord. So if you mute the stream, then you'll just hear my voice. Although now the stream is like 10-second delay, but whatever. So with that said, that's pretty much it. So there's just going to be a little bit of redesign work in the beginning of this section, and otherwise pretty much not going to change a whole lot before that. What I do like about that this change though is that not only does it add a more interesting secret, like a much more interesting secret to the first area, which really indicates should indicate to the player that there's like, oh wow, there's like lots of stuff to be paying attention to, like that's a really good thing. But also you don't have to worry about this like weird feeling of traveling just a little bit further and getting the first point. In other words, this point is now going to be much further from the second point. So Soldier's Overlook is now actually much further apart. These two sections are actually significantly, well, they're going to be a lot further apart. There's going to be a lot more content that goes on between these two areas now. In fact, I might actually make the make it so you spawn up this way, and maybe the secret can be like how you get back over here. Look at all these enemies. That's for New Game Plus. There's only like one zombie if you play this normally. New Game Plus spawns a hell of a lot more enemies, so you have to be ready for that. Yeah, but yeah, actually, I could have you come in from like this angle and have it be like a jump down, and then figuring out that there's like a secret over here could be like maybe you have to jump from here to there or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I can hear you. So let's see. That's really about it. Like most of the stuff that's going on here is like, unless I start actually doing the main work, is just going to be that, like just the planning ahead. So now I know what I'm going to be doing with the dark base. I want the dark base to have art. I also want to make sure that the player has a proper HUD damage indicator. These are the really big things that need to be covered. The fast travel net beginning rework, so that it's not confusing, so that there's a little bit more interesting stuff going on. Those are really big. Those are the big things. And then there's like a lot of like smaller like tweaks and stuff like that. Like you know, in Borderlands, when you pick up money, like I think a lot of people probably don't even realize it when they earn credits. They probably don't even know that they're earning credits. I mean, it says it on the screen. It's like it should be super obvious, but it's not. But whenever you mouse over like an item, you know, a loot bubble that has credits in it, it like it will it'll play a sound which isn't very clear what it is, and it'll say on the screen, you know, such and such credits earned, right? But I'm thinking that that's not obvious enough. Like something like in Borderlands though, like when you pick up money, there's like a fucking number indicator showing how much credits you have, you know, how much money you have, and like the number goes up. What's up? Oh, you haven't played Borderlands?
No, I played the half, not quite a sequel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I played it for about 10 minutes and thought this sucks. So I think some of the team members changed, and it wasn't the essence of Borderlands, I think was the review. So I kind of agree with that, even though I never played the other one.
That's sad. I've played 1 and 2. I didn't play the other one, which I thought was weird because I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't even know. Like the storyline's weird enough. They might as well just kept going with it, right? Like, why do a prequel? I wasn't invested in the characters. Like, this is how it all began. What? just just give me loot and stuff and make new bad guys. That's probably what would have worked a little better. Anyway, not to be blasting. I'm waiting for the next Borderlands. I want Gearbox to do the next one. I think Gearbox should be doing a Borderlands every 2 years. They should be Call of Dutying it. All right. Anyway, cool. What do you think? I'm trying to fill everything out. There's a lot of stuff in there. And I still need to go over it. But the main things that I'm focusing on are the tasks, and the tasks that are at the top of the highest priority. Lowest are either completed or low priority.
It's kind of hard to comment because I haven't played since he blinged it all out. My experience is still back a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's
I want to get the new build. I want to play the new build for about an hour. I'll have to drop it on Twitch or something.
hmm.
I don't know why, but my voice through YouTube just sucks. So,
You sound fine on Discord.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's completely fine, except on YouTube. So I can't figure that out. I think it might be something to do with Shadow Player. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I want to get about an hour's worth of footage in and just, do my rambolic thing
Yep.
for about an hour and drop you a link on that and then kind of go into your Trello with more detail so that I can actually give you some balance on what it is that you're putting together.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I'm interested to hear and see. It'll be nice to actually watch somebody play because I usually only listen to people play at the moment. Like the last feedback that I got, I was only able to listen. I usually pick up on a lot of things that even the player doesn't know. When I can watch somebody play, footage is, like a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, and that's a lot of words when it's a moving picture. Um, so like actual footage of people playing is a lot more informative to me. Because sometimes players won't even complain. There'll be something that's just grossly disgusting, and they'll like, and then just not even say anything. It happens. It happens a lot.
Do you want me to record my playing sessions and just send them to you?
Up to you. Up to you. Totally. Yeah, put them up on YouTube.
Oh, I don't want to spam my channel with it.
Yeah. Oh, then make it private or something. Or oh yeah, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, it works. Let's see. So yeah, that's essentially it. I'm kind of wondering. So maybe I could probably get started on this. I'm not really sure. What I do know is that I want this section here, this, to be different. I'm gonna have to update the auto map because of the new area, but that's essentially going to be that. And then I'm gonna have to take a look at the fast travel node. So maybe the first thing that I'll do is I'm going to rework the hub area. The way it currently is right now, I think it can improve a lot because it's causing a lot of confusion. Yeah, the flow. So basically, a lot of players will come in. Yeah, this is just maybe it's nitpicky, but to me it is pretty bothersome. A lot of players won't even know that this is here, and it doesn't help that it's a fucking like gray box thingy. But they'll try to go through the door, and they'll realize that the door doesn't open. This was something I was concerned about before. Like, I have a choice now. I can just leave the door open, and the player misses out on being able to use a sanctuary node, which is just detrimental to their play experience. Or go ahead.
Before I forget, I went on to like a 10-minute rant on this room. So
Uh oh.
do that.
Okay.
It's good and bad.
Mhm.
But yeah, I had a problem with this room, and at the same time, the other side of my brain was like, it looks awesome. So yeah, quite ambivalent about it.
Well,
Interesting.
maybe the solution could be in using a bit more lighting to show people where to go. Using lights.
Yeah. Although players tend to ham-hand it and kind of go wherever they feel like it. I mean, the light does help. It indicates where I want the player to go, like I'm communicating to the player, but not everybody picks up on that. Um, well, the main thing here is that if I make it so that the fast travel node is absolutely necessary in order to go to the next area, I'm training the player. I'm also making it so that it's a little bit more seamless. It's actually a lot more seamless in that I not only train the player on where the player needs to go next, but I also explain exactly what a fast travel node is for. And a lot of players right now currently will walk on the fast travel node and then they'll teleport to the sanctuary, thinking that they're going someplace else. So, and then there's absolutely no real genuine connection between this and that. It's just a muddled sequence that I can clean up a lot if I do this, if I change things around a little bit. So it's one of those things where it's very slight. It's very slight. Like you'll be like, you know what I mean? Like it can go either way, but when you want things to really, pop, when you want things to really flow correctly, I think this would be an improvement. Yeah, yeah. Because like a lot of like the real gamers, so to speak, will just look on the forums and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know about this, and I do actually want some aspects of the game to be stuff that you can only learn on the forums. Some stuff, but not everything. Not a huge chunk. Not a massive like proportion of it. But like I do want people to like talk on Reddit and be like, oh shit, I didn't even know about that. You know what I mean? But this is not one of those things. This is one of those things where it's like, um, I don't know. I just need to polish it further. It needs to be a little bit more clean, if that makes any sense.
Okay, if you could hold off on doing that until you my assassination after replaying it again.
An assassination.
Oh, it will seem like an assassination.
Eh.
You will think that you're going to say
You gonna John Will spoof me? Uh, well, I'm actually already working on it though. I mean, I'm setting up the door up here and the drop down.
and I'll stay quiet. I'm not going to say anything. You carry on. You do what you think is right. And then when I replay it with this new design, I might have completely different opinions.
Well, what is the main, like if you were to break it down into like the main things that you find wrong with it? What are those things? Like, uh, does it uh does it break some like fundamental design principle, or is it just like things that can be easily tweaked? Like, can you break that down for me?
My general comments were that it was a clunky mess, and it should have been redesigned to resemble a non-inside of a cathedral.
Hmm. It's like a cathedral? Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't mean as in it looks like a cathedral, but it has the same principle in that there is an altar. The altar is where you do all your crafty stuff.
Hmm.
You have a piece on the left, a piece on the right, some doobry wotsits and blinky blinky lights and stuff, and all of that good sci-fi stuff that you crammed in there, which is awesome. And yeah, but just have a central line, so it's very clear what the purpose of the room is. And then off to the left and to the right, you can have your teleportation, you have your doors, your ins and your outs.
So it's like a cathedral?
Yeah, I say cathedral. I don't mean that in a negative
Yeah, I
sense.
think I know. I know what you mean.
Just having a central line going through it exactly the way it is there, but it just felt so cluttered when I went in there.
It is pretty cluttered. There's no doubt about that. Hmm.
It wasn't clear. I mean, I went through the door and immediately I hit
That is an interesting point.
Wasn't really about the level design because I really didn't pay that much attention to it. My main crux was with the gunplay.
Ah, so that's the combat.
Well, the combat itself is fine, but the gunplay, just how the guns feel, they feel like you're shooting nothing. There needs to be some sort of feedback that makes you feel like you're shooting something powerful.
Hmm.
I disagree.
Why exactly?
Because of the impact on zombies and so forth. It's the net result that I look at when I'm playing an FPS game. I look at what's the what, what happens once I hit the thing I'm trying to shoot, and that is satisfying enough for me not
Well,
to care about what is happening in the foreground or right where the gun is. That isn't as important as what happens at the projectile's end.
well, that's one of the two ways to make gunplay feel satisfying. I think ideally it should be a combination of some sort of feedback and some sort of effects on the monsters. And even the effects on the monsters didn't seem really that impactful to me. I would wish they would like chunks of them would be flying around as you shot them or something like that.
So when you say that, you mean how the enemies react to you shooting at them? Because right now it feels kind of like you're just shooting an air cannon at them, right?
At the moment, yes. Plus, I would like to see like you stagger for a moment if you fire a really powerful weapon. Of course, not for the pistol, but maybe a small stagger for a shotgun and a slightly larger stagger for the grenade launcher, etc.
Well, like modifying movement. Let's see. I'm thinking you're saying like stagger isn't like the screen shake, right?
Well, I'm not a developer, so I'm not sure if I'm using correct terminology for developers. But from a critic's point of view, the gunplay right now feels like I'm shooting an airsoft gun instead of a gun.
Uh huh. So like, it's like it feels like the monsters. There's like no blood coming off of them. You're not blowing their arms off. They're not flying. They're not flying backwards. They're not like um.
Yeah, things like those. Of course, they need to be different for each of the weapons.
Yeah, yeah. Well, currently like the screen shake and stuff like that are different for uh each of the weapons, but I think a big part of how a gun feels and how the combat feels is definitely based completely around like how the enemies react when you shoot them. Like if you shoot a shotgun at somebody and it just keeps coming at you, like it doesn't feel as powerful, right? But if you shoot a shotgun at somebody and he like flies fucking backwards, hits the fucking wall and like there's blood everywhere, like that's different, right? How do you
Definitely.
how do you feel the guns are in Brutal Doom? Have you played?
I don't think I played Brutal Doom.
Hmm. That's kind of my goal is to get to Brutal Doom. So like
Well,
having
I can certainly download it and try it out and do a comparison.
to me some of the best feeling guns right now is tends to be like that Brutal Doom feel to it. I think they managed to get the guns to feel really like in fact a little too much. They've gone too far. But so it's not just the way the gun feels when you fire it, but how the enemies react when you fire it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Like I don't really need like for example, right now the enemies just explode when they die.
Well,
I
there's
think it would be better if they exploded in a manner that would still some still remains would something would remain of them.
mhm. Yeah, oh no, they completely disappear. And the reason why, and I mean this is I'm not making excuses or anything like that, but the reason why they just disappear is because what's going to happen is I'm gonna transform them into either rag dolls or like so they're gonna like fall backwards and stuff like that. They just disappear right now because nothing happens when they die. There's just nothing there. Uh,
That would improve the gunplay a lot.
yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, yeah. I need to get the dead bodies. Like they need to I want to see them die. I want their body parts falling off. I want blood splattering on the walls and floors, like stuff like that. It's not really that hard to set up. It's just I haven't really had a chance to really do that, and I've been, yeah, but yeah, I agree. I completely agree. So you don't agree that the enemy should have? Wait, no. Now what part don't you agree with though?
The way it's been set up is you've got this bar that goes down when you're shooting an enemy. The bar goes down. That's the thing I'm looking at because that's the thing that you have drawn focus to. You've got this bar and you've said,
Hmm.
this is going down. You need to keep shooting them until it goes down all the way until they die.
Mhm.
That's the thing I'm looking at. Of concern.
You're just looking at a health bar. That's all.
I tend to do that.
That's the visual indication. What damage am I doing? How much more damage do I need to do? That's the visual indicator. It's there for that reason and that reason alone.
Well,
And
that's
it's probably the kind of player I am, but I'm the kind of player who's very objective based, and I'm a completist. So
well, yeah,
that's
but I'm
the thing
looking
I'm
at it from a point of view of a mainstream player because I'm not really into hardcore games that much, but I just do reviews of games, and I try to look at games from a point of view of mainstream gamers.
Mhm.
A mainstream gamer, he wants to see the enemies to react in some way to the shots fired at him. Like, let's say you have a rocket launcher and you fire it at a basic zombie, and for some reason it's just like a super duper powered zombie, so it just continues walking on. The rocket launcher just feels like a pistol with a higher number.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like a rocket launcher.
Now, I have to admit, I am guilty too of like staring at health bars. I do that a lot. It's tunnel visioning, where like if I want something to die, my eyes are on that bar. Like I sometimes hate it because a lot of games become just health bar simulators, and I do it in Borderlands an awful lot. I do it way too much, especially in World of Warcraft PvP. Ugh. But I could definitely see that. Yeah, it does depend on the game. I haven't found myself tunnel.
Battlefield. I won't care.
Now, here's the thing about that though. How does that necessarily discount like good death animations and stuff like that though? Or how does that necessarily affect like how enemies react to when you're shooting them?
Yeah, you can still watch the health bar, but you also need to think of the people who don't watch the health bar and they just shoot at stuff until they see it die.
Well, my question on that is how does one cancel out the other? Like to me, this seems it doesn't seem like it's impossible to support both. I mean, you have the looking at the health bar having impact like that, but obviously the enemy needs to have like his arms, and you need to see blood shooting out, and the enemy like fly backwards a little bit and stuff like that. I mean, what's wrong with that? How does one?
Wrong with that, but what I'm saying is, if you make a decision, then that becomes the focus. If you make a decision about health bars, that becomes the focus. If you make no health bars, it will all be about the animation and the effectiveness of the animation to indicate whether the thing is dead or going to die or staggering around because it's on its last legs, a la Doom 2016.
Hmm.
I think you misunderstood what my complaint was. I'm not saying to remove the health bars and just make a visual indicator of the creature's health based on how it looks. I'm just saying that the creatures should also react in some way to you shooting them. Because right now it feels
Yeah.
like you're not shooting them.
Which is definitely true. They don't react at all when you shoot them at the moment, and that's simply because I haven't added that in. But yeah, I mean it's a thing. They have zero reaction when you shoot them, and that is something that does need to be solved. I do plan to solve it, and
I like the noise they make.
that's also going to change. I want them to all have their own sounds. Right now, one of the things that I'm having trouble with on the project is finding good sounds for all of the monsters. Like, and it's just demons and zombies too, but like I can't find sounds that I can actually commercially use, which is
Oh, dude, just do yourself. Just go into, was it Odyssey? That was where jump in there and just make some grrr.
yeah,
No kidding. How
yeah.
do they do it?
I think they probably do it that way. My only thing is like while I'm doing that, I don't have time to do this. But
Exactly.
yeah, that is.
Just make it function. That's all you need to do. Make it function. And so you just work with game mechanics. That's the most important part.
So this section right here is now an area that you can't reach, but you can kind of see up into.
The delay on your stream versus Discord is not that bad. It's only about a few seconds.
Huh. It's bad enough where communication is like talking to somebody is kind of a detriment. Like it makes it very difficult to communicate to somebody. Like a couple seconds.
Another thing I wanted to point out is you should probably make the combat text a little bit bigger, or bigger and disappear quicker, if that makes sense.
That sounds good to me. How much bigger?
What you mean, the numbers?
Yeah, like the numbers and stuff like that. And bigger and faster vanish. So like the numbers are like larger but they disappear quicker. You can try that.
Oh yeah, no, I had a comment on that, but my comment was that I really liked it. I liked the numbers. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that they, instead of disappear, that they would scale.
Oh, depending on the number?
Scale depending on the number, but also when they disappear, they don't disappear. They shrink. They scale down.
Yeah,
So
that's a good solution to it as well. I just feel like sometimes the numbers, it is hard to see them, and for weapons like the shotgun, I think the numbers, instead of like displaying 10 times 27 or whatever number, you could just show the final number, because it clutters the screen.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting.
It definitely needs tweaking. It's very, very hard to know. And it's going to be one of those things that you'll change it, and I'll play it, and I'll say, oh, no, it's terrible. And you'll change it, and say, it will just be this endless tweaking. But
Yeah.
I like the numbers. In general, I just like them. I think they're good, and I'm glad they're in there.
Yeah, I like the numbers too. But they are pretty hard to read sometimes. Like, you just see a cloud of numbers every once in a while. Like, if you're fighting enemies, I've actually thought of having like the numbers add to each other, but that gives weird results, and people have a harder time knowing like how much damage they're actually doing per shot. Like consolidating numbers into smaller and into larger numbers, so you have like instead of 12 twice, you have 24 up here. I don't know. I thought about stuff like that, but it's like probably better to keep it simple. But like sometimes the damage is like just cloud. You just see like numbers like just pour out of something. Especially if you use the minigun.
Yeah, and the shotgun as well.
Yeah, the shotgun does that too. Double barrel. Every shot is a cloud. What were you saying, Alley Cat? It's not a particle system. It's actually they're separate actors that spawn. It's probably not the most efficient, but I haven't noticed any performance problems at all. And they're also not going to replicate. You're only going to see your own damage, not the other players. Unless it's something.
Planning on this co-op?
Yeah, down the road, basically what's going to happen is people can play with you, but they're going to be joining your world, so to speak. You know what I mean? So, like, when they join your world, The other guy's voice is really quiet. Oh shit, let me raise your guys' volume a little bit. So when somebody joins your game, basically they're joining your game. So it's like you can play with another friend, but like you're still the main character, and that person's sort of like not necessarily a ghost, but like a visitor that is with you, and you can play with your friends. So that there will be a level of co-op like that eventually, and they won't have the same rules. Like if you die, both of you get teleported back and stuff like that. Whereas if your friend sacrifices himself, maybe the same rules don't necessarily apply and stuff. I haven't really thought the exact design on it yet, but that's the premise, is that like there'll be a form of co-op where you still get loot when you join somebody else's game. You still get experience points. You're playing together, but the client zero is still the leader, and you're experiencing his game. If that makes sense.
Wait, am I the other guy?
Or one of the other guys.
Yeah, am I the quiet one?
No, you're fine. My volume was down really low.
Oh, okay, right.
So now your voice should be just about the same as mine. Actually, I'll probably just leave it at the same volume. Say something.
Something.
There you go. Your voice should be just as loud as mine. Yeah, you're coming through fine.
It might be a bit boomy because of where I am now.
No boomy.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, fine.
I'm in my new apartment and it's absolutely gigantic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I could play one-on-one basketball in here. I got
Jeez.
20-foot ceiling. It's awesome.
Congrats on the apartment.
Yeah, I moved out of the country, and I've got really bad internet now as well, which is weird. Because in the country I had fiber, but here I don't. I've just got regular old ASDL. Yeah, it sucks.
What I'm going to do is a little bit different here, but this is general premise. I don't like all the Z fighting that I'm experiencing at the moment, so I might have to kind of like rethink this a little bit. But I do kind of want to let's see. I think I'll get rid of this. I'll put the light up here now until
Also, the thing I'm really missing is sprinting.
Oh yeah, there's no sprinting at the moment. I was thinking that maybe the abilities would incorporate sprinting, like you'd have a sprint ability on the shift key. And you might be able to actually equip like a major ability and a minor or something like that. You have like two different types of abilities. And like
Didn't we talk about this?
yeah, I think we have actually, Alley Cat. We actually have. We have this very discussion, whereas like you thought that abilities should probably encompass things like that. And that's kind of the direction things will end up going, I think, because it just makes sense. But yeah, like so you have like secondary, minor and major abilities, right? And one of them could be sprint, one of them could be like a grappling hook, one of them can be like, and you kind of have to choose which one you want.
Yeah, now I remember, yeah.
And they all consume action points. So that's one of the things too. So the sprint will consume action points. Right now action points are in the game. If you equip endless armor, if you use any endless potion, anything with the endless affix on it will give you additional action points even before you get the item that's supposed to give you a proper sized pool of action points. It's like in the game already. I haven't got around to the point where I want to start adding abilities. Like you don't get them until later. Probably around the 3rd level, I'm thinking, after a boss fight or something. You actually get action points. I mean, what am I calling them? Hold on a second. If you look in inventory, whoops. AP module. And AP modules give you double jump, super jump, depending on the AP module that you find. and they'll be just like gear, and you just equip them to the slot, and like you can get like super jump. Jetpacks all consume action points. I'm not a fan of this right here. So that's that. But yeah, I do agree that, I mean, you can have the monsters react. I'm totally planning on having the monsters react to being shot and like maybe knock back and stuff like that, depending on the type of enemy. It's really just a matter of like applying an impulse to the enemy and making sure that they have like a thing where they fall over dead when you shoot them, and then once a ragdoll, you apply impulse depending on the vector of the projectile and how much strength the projectile is hitting with, and then like, which could just be based off of damage, and then that will like determine whether, you know, how far the enemy flies back, and like how much, whether or not you like blow a limb off or something. And it's not really as complicated as it sounds, as it might sound. So like, was there any other like feedback you guys had?
Oh, those were the main things I wanted to address, and as I said, an hour it really isn't that much to get much out of the game.
There's not much content, you mean, right?
No, I just mean that usually when I'm like for instance, when I'm reviewing a game, I want at least like 5 to 8 hours out of small games, and even more out of larger ones. The only ones I tend to make a review quicker of are games that aren't even that long in total.
Yeah. It'll take a little while before I get 8 hours. Unless you're talking about New Game Plus. Which I don't technically think New Game Plus counts. Like there needs to be a genuine like addition of like levels, like unique content, because New Game Plus just makes it so that you start over again and everything's higher level, and all the monsters change spawns, and like there's much tougher enemies earlier on. And
right now I wasn't really looking at your game as a review. It was just more like I want to give advice to a friend.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna have a whole lot of time where the game won't be in like a point where it needs to be reviewed. Hopefully, it won't be torn apart, but it probably will be. I really honestly don't know. I don't know. It feels to me like my biggest complaint will be that like there's just no content. Like there's not enough stuff, right? But that's the main thing that I want to keep adding more of. I want to be in a position where the game's core elements are in place, and then I can just keep adding levels and guns and monsters and guns and levels and just keep going with that, right? Like, so that's why I'm so focused on getting these starting areas and everything like that in place, and then it'll just be like a continuous stream of levels. That's the idea.
Okay.
What's that?
No, I wasn't sure what I was going to say. I think I said it when I did my analysis first time around about blowing your wad. That's sort of too much too soon, and atmosphere and all of that pacing stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to say too much about that because I feel like I'm being a dick when I say it.
Just go ahead. It's not like you're gonna be. It's not gonna be any different when the world sees the game. Like, look at how badly Strafe got ripped up. Like, am I gonna be in a different position? Seriously, am I?
Answer me this: what was the name of the baddies in Quake when you first played Quake, and there was the ones that made that noise, and it was like halfway through, I think the second level or the third level, and they made this noise, and it scared the shit out of me when I first heard it. Just scary as hell. And then in my mind, what was there was the worst form of doom and death ever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't even seen it. But I heard it, and it was just, considering what I've been through so far, whatever that is going to be one mean thing. And it was. but that was my point. That was all in my mind.
Mhm.
I hadn't seen it. I'd never seen it before. Never played the game before. Imagine that, first time I played Quake. But I played it, and I heard this noise, and it scared the bejesus out of me. Is the one that fires the grenades? I forget
Oh,
what the
ogres.
name of it.
Those are ogres.
Yeah, I think it was the ogres in Quake first time. First time I played it, and oh my god, it was so scary. And but that was all in my mind, is my point. And if you set the right tone and you set the atmosphere right, you don't have to have level upon level upon level upon level of just an endless wall of doom and destruction ahead of you. You don't have to do that for the game to be good.
Yeah, true.
This game will be good because of its design and because of its atmosphere and because of the nostalgic joy that it will tickle parts of my brain with. But yeah, you're doing a great job, man. You shouldn't be beating yourself up about it and think, well, just more monsters, more blood, more monsters. You don't need to do that. You really don't. It's all about what you are doing, and that's really good level design and a really good tone and atmosphere.
Well, I mean, I want to make lots of stuff. That's also the thing too. It's not so much that I'm doing it because that's, you know, that's because I think the game will sell more. Is because I usually find myself making Doom maps anyway. I'll just sit on my spare time. But a lot of the reason why this game exists is because I usually just make Doom levels, and I decided that fuck it, I have this project where I have kind of a first-person shooter in the Unreal 4 engine. I'm just gonna make my own Doom mods. And that's kind of how this whole thing started. I mean, and now I'm actually like in a position where I kind of see things aligning in a certain way where it's actually kind of possible, and I'm like, wait, it's kind of possible? I should probably be doing something. So that's, yeah. So like, I mean, the intent is gonna be to literally just keep making more maps and stuff because that's what I normally do anyway. Man, if the time and energy that I spent to make Redemption of the Slain for Brutal Doom went into this, I'd have.
You're cutting out, by the way, Castle.
Ah, shit. Am I cutting out on stream or am I? Oh, I guess I'm cutting out on Discord, huh?
A little bit of both.
Yeah. I was just ranting anyway.
You went into 1990s vision for a second.
Doom, doom, doom. We're losing them. That's I don't know, like 1990s music. Or that would be more like the 80s actually, where it's like.
That was the 80s.
Yeah, it was 80s. Yeah.
I swear to God, there is some guy somewhere who worked in LA and all he had was an electronic drum kit.
Yeah,
and he was hired by every studio. Like something, we need some music for something that happens here. Hold on. That's it. That's it. Just keep it there.
I totally agree. Oh, it is so funny.
Oh yeah, it's very good though. I do miss the 80s. Ah, those were the good days.
I cannot talk about the 80s. I wasn't born in them yet.
You weren't born in the 80s?
No, I'm in 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
1990s, the year I was born.
Fuck me.
Yeah. And you're in your 20s, right? Wait. You're a teenager. For some
Dude,
reason,
I was
thought you
born
were.
in 1990.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not a teenager.
Oh. 20.
It's not the year 2007 anymore.
Hey, let me tell you guys a true story. I was hired somebody once, and I was getting all of these CVs in, curriculum vitae, resumes, whatever they call it in your country. But I was getting all of these CVs, and I was reading through it, and I was thinking, these people just can't be old enough to be. What are they? These like from school? Like, how old are these people? And I just couldn't believe it. And I looked at one of them and I sat him down and I was having a conversation with him. and they told me what year they were born, and they were born in like 1987 or something. And I said, "You were born after Back to the Future?" and they didn't know what it was.
And
That's
they
what
did
made it worse.
it made it even worse.
The even more funny thing is, even if I was born earlier, I would probably have no idea what happened in the rest of the world, because until like 4 months before I was born, the communists just reigned in my country.
Oh.
Where are you?
Czech Republic.
Now you got pretty good internet there.
Oh, I'm actually an optical. I got the 100
Oh,
through
yeah.
100.
That's badass.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
You see, that's symmetric. I'm on asymmetric. So even though I've got 200, it's only 200 in one direction. It's not 200 in the other.
Well, the internet was one of the most important things when I was choosing where I'm going to live, because I wanted to upload videos, and I was like, if I'm going to upload videos in at least full HD, and I will have like a 10 megabit upload, it will take fucking forever.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I'm gonna have to rework this a little bit more. That's kind of a.
Just out of curiosity, Russell, I'm looking at your level design and the way that you're. What are they? Are they? They're actual static meshes that you're putting in there. Why are you adding them in that fashion? Why don't you're adding them as independent things as opposed to connecting them?
What do you mean by connecting them?
By clicking on the add component. So if you select a static mesh, you click on add component, and you can just keep adding it, and it then becomes one thing. It auto groups it, if you can imagine it like that. It becomes hierarchical.
I didn't know it had that. Where is this? Add component. Add event. Where does it say add component? Am I just not seeing it? Maybe do I have to have more than one selected?
No, you just pick one static mesh, and then you click on add component, and then it adds it in the same position.
I'm not even seeing that option.
No, you can only do see. I can see it on the screen right now. It says add component on the right hand side of the screen. It says add component. You got blue on.
Oh yeah, I see it.
You see it, right? Okay. I got a delay on the stream, so yeah.
Oh yeah, that would make it hierarchical. Well, that's actually really useful. That's actually very useful.
Yeah.
Wait, is that making it a
design?
Is that gonna make it a blueprint though?
No, just adds it. It just connects it in the same space and the same world position, so that you can then. It makes building walls and floors and stuff like that really, really easy.
Let's see. Do one. Add component.
You can just drag a static mesh into the details tab from your content browser as well if you wanted to.
Whoa, what did it do that for? It did something really weird. Floor metal 0. Why is it selecting floor metal 0? Is that because
if you got something highlighted in your content browser,
yeah, I got it.
And you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The easiest way to do it is just to drag it in and then alt drag the thing from there. And instead of alt dragging it in your main world outliner, it alt drags it inside of the details tab of the main thing that you're doing.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
explaining it so poorly, but
No,
it
no.
means that you don't have hundreds of thousands of static mesh actors in the world outliner. You have them as
Oh, that's much better.
hierarchical sections. So you can build, like I say, you build entire wall sections. But because it has the same location in world space, you can
Yeah.
slip and slide it around. It just makes it way easier to do it.
So on green, I want 45. Not scale. Just get this on a 45-degree angle. Get into world space. Rotate like that. 45 degrees too steep. I need to make this, I need to like figure out how to make this a little bit better because the way it was coming all the way out here was kind of not really ideal. So like I have to figure out a decent connection. But damn, actually, so this isn't a blueprint. This is just a hierarchical section of like floor pieces that I just created right here. And then I can add another one.
Yeah, and then you slide them around. They have the same basic position.
Oh,
They
this
all have
is
the same basic position, and they just slip from there. It just means that everything just aligns, and you stop having Z fighting.
yeah, yeah. Like that's actually really nice. Does that mean I can scale these things independently too? I can like say, or not independently, like as a full object. So if I set this to
Yeah.
0.8.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're thinking, and the answer
Oh,
is yes, you can.
you know what? This will make making the mini map even easier. Hmm. Yeah, because of the way I was doing the mini map, I could make it all just one component or one object, and then set up the origin of the world that way. I was having all kinds of like little things that I was having to work around when I was trying to figure out how to do the mini maps relation to world space. So basically, what I'm simulating is local and world space coordinates in order to create the. Have you seen the mini map yet?
Yeah, I saw it the other day. Yeah.
This. So it just creates a smaller.
I think you were doing the particle system.
Oh yeah, yeah. The only problem with that is it looks like there's a an objective here or something like that. A lot of people are gonna think that. But that's actually pretty damn useful. This is really useful. Alright, I'm gonna set this on the floor. I know I'm gonna need to have at least a few of these lined up. And then I'll rotate. Are you able to set where the origin is on this thing? Because I can go into this, right? Like, does it have an origin? It doesn't have an origin, huh?
What doesn't have an origin?
Does the hierarchical instance have an origin?
All of the objects, their world position is based on the world position of the thing and the scale of the thing, because it's a hierarchy.
So the thing that's
So
oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to set an instant. Unless the first thing is the origin. So the first thing that I need, like if I was to create a little box, that would be the origin object of the entire hierarchy, and then I just add to that.
yeah,
Damn, thank you. This is really useful.
it stops Z fighting a lot if you're using constant dimensions, which you are using.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will help you a lot. So I was watching you put the floors and the walls, and I was thinking, that's a lot of static meshes. Because as you know, with the Unreal Engine, once you have things that are using the same material and are the same thing, you can link them all together and say, all of this is one big static mesh.
Mm-hmm.
And it just cuts down on build times, render times, load times, and
Yeah.
all of that good stuff. So it just helps you in the end. So it's faster all around, and it makes the level smaller, memory size.
Yeah, this is gonna play an important role in the arting out of the dark base for sure. Absolutely. So I'll probably just add another component here. I'll probably have this. Yeah, look at that. It's just so simple.
Try dragging. So have the hierarchy on the screen, and try dragging an object into the stack, and you can do it that way if you want to. Whatever you want, whatever's comfortable for you, you can do it that way.
Mhm.
But it will take all of its origin the same way, and all of its dimensions, and all of its scale. And yeah, you can drag it all around the map as one big thing. So it's pretty cool.
This is fucking huge. This would have a pretty big effect on how I build in this tech, for sure. This makes it so much easier, especially
Yeah,
for
'cause
stuff that I'm going to be reusing. And it's just an object with a hierarchy. So how does it look when I select it here? I don't see a hierarchy here.
you can double click on the individual things, but in the world outliner, it will just come up as one object.
I see.
But it has a hierarchy. But yeah, you can double click on any of the objects in the main
And then it'll select the whole thing.
viewport. No. You can double click on the main in the viewport.
Mhm.
You can double click on the things and you can move them, so you can make the adjustments from there. But yeah, it's pretty cool, and
Yeah,
it's
oh
good
yeah.
because you can check all of the little things, like you got the location now. I'm looking at it. It's 199.9999995 something, and the Y is 0 minus 0
Yeah.
0.000. You can zero all of this stuff and just make it uniform and just make it neat and tidy.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that if you're obsessive compulsive disorder like I am, it's very nice.
Yeah, this stuff, it like goes into this crazy precision for no reason. Even when the grid is on, like, I don't understand.
Oh, dude, you were talking about that in 2014 when you looked at Unreal the first time.
Ugh. I hate that.
AFK, just grabbing a drink. AFK.
No problem.
And I'm probably going to go to bed, so see you later, Castle.
Yeah, later. This is actually pretty interesting because now this is all just one object. I can more easily make sure that this is lined up. I'll probably put this into like I'm just like literally sitting here trying to just build up. I might have spent a little more time than I probably should have just messing with this, but it's worth it. Now that I have this here, although I'll have to listen to some feedback when it comes to this area in general. But with that said, I can probably get away with having. So now that this section over here actually holds some kind of meaning to it, I probably want to put a light up here or something and move this ambient sound a little higher up. Oh yeah, and while I'm here, maybe I should do something about this wall up here, because I mean, I actually have stuff that this should look like now. Could probably replace all that. And this can be rotated. More necromancers. Sorry, Jacob. Yeah, I probably, for some reason, I wasn't paying attention to chat. I don't know why. I guess because I'm not used to it. I'm not used to like talking to people and paying attention to chat. That's the problem. I gotta get used to that. I'm probably gonna be doing it this way a lot. Yeah, and there's like an area over here that you can't quite reach. Officially, until I fix this, the game is now showstopper broken because there's no way to progress past this point at this section, at this juncture. So, with that said, should the next thing that I do be some kind of like an improvement on the fast travel system, which would make sense, right? So let me get a light up here. Maybe another one of these. This'll work. There needs to be some kind of beam or something to put here.
Alright, I'm back. What did I miss?
Just trying to get a light source up here, and then I'm going to be making sure that there's no holes in the world, and once I'm done with that, I'm going to actually start reworking the fast travel system so that it supports the changes that I'm about to make, or have already begun making. This should flow a lot better now, I think. But that's really about it. I could probably put some music in the background or something, but I don't know. For some reason I'm on a roll. I might as well just go with it.
Always go with it when you're on a roll.
Yeah. Alright, so this whole section now is a secret. And I might even actually... Yeah, shh. Spoilers. How am I going to deal with spoilers? You know what I mean? Like, this game's entire development is going to be streamed like this, basically. Like, I guess I'm going to have some secrets here and there, but... yeah. How am I going to deal with spoilers? I'm not really sure. I guess it's up to the player.
Well, however you're going to deal with spoilers, one thing to do is not to talk about how you're going to deal with the spoilers. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know actually. How many secrets does Subnautica have that weren't televised?
78, I think. I don't know.
Exactly 78. Yeah, I don't know. Like, cause that's what That's what Charlie would say. He'd just be like, say everything, like all of it, all of the things. Say it, talk about it. The exact opposite of the rest of the game industry.
You need softer lighting.
In this section right here.
Yeah, more lighting and softer lighting. Put a big light in there and turn the roughness to like 1 or something. Didn't I mention this before?
Yeah, you mentioned something about does the light actually have a roughness setting? Huh.
Dude.
Oh. It was a 0.8. That's really low.
Yeah, that's really shiny.
Oh. So if this is 1.
Oh no, the spots are fine. The spots and I think the points are fine because you're highlighting. You're putting light in certain areas, and that's absolutely hunky-dory fine, no problem at all. I was talking about if you just have a big fat light in the middle of the room, high up,
Yeah.
with like enough attenuation, and if you make that rough and fat, it will just bounce forever and really soften the room out and just give you a nice warm fuzzy glow overall.
What kind of a roughness setting are we talking here? Because
1.0, just make it fully rough, fully soft, and just let the engine just sort it out. You've already got some nice highlights with really shiny lights, and that's fine. That's okay because that's the kind of color palette that you've got, sort of a pastel-y palette. It's fine. But if you have a big, fat, fully rough light in the middle of a room somewhere, that will make a huge difference. It really would, a huge difference.
give this a nice big attenuation and see. Yeah, the lighting complexity got a little bit in the red in this area. For the most part, I probably underusing the lights, honestly. When I test for light complexity, it's not usually in. Let's see.
I need to refresh YouTube. I'm probably about 2 minutes out.
Yeah. See, the light complexity is a little bit. There's some spots where it's red. Thing is I haven't noticed any performance, but the nice thing about relying on dynamic lights is that they're fairly easy to scale, and really all it does is just normalize everything when you turn it down. The setting improves frame rate dramatically. But there are some red now. This is actually getting a bit red. And I'll probably make that worse when I turn this up, but let's see how this looks. Increase attenuation.
Yes, but that's light complexity. If it's the bit I'm looking at on the screen right now.
That was...
yeah. Make that fat. I can't see the settings, so I can't advise you because your face is in the way on the screen.
You say fat?
Yeah, make the light fat.
Oh.
So I don't have my engine open, so I can't tell you what the setting is, and your face is in the way, so I can't say this up. Here we go. Scroll down. Source radius. That's the one directly below attenuation. Source radius. Make that like 250.
So 250 source radius.
Yeah.
And then you got a 2000 attenuation radius. It's pretty big. It's pretty much.
As long as it fits the room, that's fine. Oh, the other thing I noticed, but I'll talk about that when I do it again. When I do my chitty chatty waffly thing when I do a run through. But yeah, if you do that and then you just play with the strength, and you've got all reflection stuff in there, haven't you? So that's okay.
Yeah. The material reflects a little bit. I think actually I set the on metal. You'll see more like shininess and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
It's fine. Your spotlights and your point lights are absolutely fine. No problem at all with that. It was an overall warm, soft light that a fill light for the room. That's what was missing in that particular room. But everything else was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
That's cool. That's good. So I'm planning on trying to get this up on Steam soon, very soon. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. It shouldn't really be too bad. I mean, it'll be like early access, but it's definitely something I'm going to be...
You will get an avalanche of interest.
How hard is the process? Do you know about getting stuff on Steam?
In terms of the integration from Unreal Engine or the legal side of it?
What's the integration from the Unreal Engine? I guess that you're talking about strictly like the getting like achievements and stuff.
Oh, what, like the plugin that they've got built in, that thing?
Yeah, is that going to require programming?
I've heard positive and negative, and that's all I know is that some people have found it really easy, and some people have found it very, very difficult.
Oh boy!
And I'm not sure whether that's because of Gabe or whether that's because of Unreal Engine. So,
Oh.
that's not the slightest bit helpful. But I would prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. But in terms of the reaction, that's all I can comment on, really. I think it's going to be very, very good.
All right. Well, if I can get a good reaction, if I can get it on Steam, though. I didn't even realize that there was integration.
Here's a classic example. You've got this. I can see what you're trying to do here. You could add that to the hierarchy. I know what you're trying to do.
Well, I'll never use that again. I'll never use that. The reason why I'm fumbling with this is because I was trying to force myself not to just make it a negative number, like to scale it negatively and make it a 0.6. That's why I was fumbling with it, is because I was trying to see if there was a way to position it where I wouldn't have to do some weird like hackery, but it turns out that that was necessary. Now, is this hierarchy something that can be used in multiple maps? Because this is only going to be this will be the only staircase like this probably in this entire level.
All I heard was, is this something that you can use, and then you kind of cut out.
Oh, damn. I'm not sure why I'm cutting out.
Oh, dude, it might be me as well. I mean, I've got this dodgy connection.
I won't be using the staircase anywhere else, so like the hierarchy is nice though, because it allowed me to move everything uniformly, but this staircase will never get used again. And I think actually adding it to the hierarchy would be more complicated because I have to like do other stuff now. I'm trying to think though. Why did it? Yeah.
You could add a flat sheet at an angle. That would still work. Well, you wouldn't be adding it at an angle. It would already be an angle if you add it to the stairs on the
Yeah.
side. It would kind of look weird, but it would do the job. It would seal it, which is what you're trying to do.
I think it lines up right now. I mean, it's not 100% perfect, but I think it lines up now. So let's see. Yeah. Now, this is a little bit, I'll have to kind of modify things a little bit so that it feels a little more like there's a flow coming from this direction. Because as the player, I want to make sure I feel like I'm coming from this way. There's the stairs. That leads me up. I should have some kind of metal up here. I think maybe I'll probably just do the same thing I did here. Maybe smaller, scale it down a little bit. But yeah,
I liked your sun, by the way. I thought that was really good.
like the sun like that, like it's kind of coming through the fog.
Oh yeah, really good. I really like that. Reminded me a little bit of 300. I was thinking I'm not in Kansas anymore.
What is the process to get it on, like the integration involve exactly?
You cut him out, dude.
Oh, what does the process of integration with Steam involve exactly? Like, this isn't just something where I can just like plop it up on a folder somewhere, right? This is gonna have to be like a thing.
Oh yeah, you gotta read. There's stuff to read. You gotta go through a process.
Well, they review it, and yeah, I'm familiar with that. But like on a technical level, do I have to do stuff to the engine? Like we were just talking about, like what does that involve exactly?
You keep cutting out.
It might be because I'm
It's
streaming.
probably no. I think it's me as well, because I have a 50-to-1 contention ratio here, which means that it's that time of night when all of the couples in the building are watching the latest rom-com. They're Netflix and chilling. I think you were asking what is the integration between the Unreal Engine and Steam,
Yeah.
or what is the integration between Steam and the Unreal Engine?
Like what does the process involve exactly? Like I that's what I need to know because I need to be thinking about that really soon. Because I'm gonna be in a situation where it's like I need to start getting the ball rolling, and so
Have
maybe.
you got a Steam account?
Yep.
I know. Well, I don't know you got a Steam account. I just would find it highly unusual if you didn't. There's a section on there. There's stuff that you need to read. Get your iPad, read it.
Yeah.
That's all I can say to you. Yeah.
Yeah. But when so like I guess there's stuff that I need to do to the engine that bothers me. Like I'll have to figure out how to like integrate those things. I don't know.
Sorry, there's a siren going past. Sorry.
It's one thing after the other.
No, it's just really weird for me to hear sirens because I'm up until a few weeks ago I was living in the country, so
Oh yeah, it's like a new.
the worst thing I had was the sound of the cows getting up in the morning and then taking a dump. And it was the sound of me. It's oh god. And you have to close the windows because of the smell. But now I gotta deal with sirens outside because I live in a city. There's a huge city outside. I'm high up, yet it reverberates off all the buildings. So
Wow.
it's really loud, really loud. But it's a loft apartment, so big windows. My windows are like 15 foot tall. It's just crazy.
Sounds awesome.
It really is awesome. And when I get my camera up, you'll be able to see it in the background. But I've got lots of furniture I need to get in the property first, and I've got I bought lots of nerdy, geeky stuff. So one of the things I've got, I'm really happy I got it, is I was one of the people that bought the 10th anniversary, sorry, no, the 20th anniversary Grand Theft Auto 3 posters, which are from Rockstars, and there's only 500 that are made, and they're lithographs.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, they're really, really thick, and I managed to get one. And I've been holding on to it for months, just waiting to move in here. And now that I've moved, now I can actually frame it and put it in the proper frame. And I got loads of stuff as well from like Pulp Fiction and just loads of pop culture, nerdy, geeky stuff. Some Star Wars stuff as well, you know, just really nerd. And I'm really liking it. It's really great. But I got to get all the furniture in, so there's loads of work I got to do. And at the same time, there's other stuff I need to do as well. But yes, you need to do a lot of reading on this topic.
Yeah, that'll be this week.
Yeah, just read it. It's fairly straightforward. You need to have an account. It needs to be in good standing. Blah blah blah.
It's in good standing.
So you can't be listed as a hacker on VAC. What do they call it? VAC, isn't it? Valve.
Yeah.
Some anti-cheat. So you have to have good standing and, you know, not be a big fat noob. And you need to have a T-shirt that says "I love Gabe."
That's actually a funny T-shirt.
Like just a picture of Gabe and a heart. Well, you should make a T-shirt like that. Just Photoshop it.
I'm almost sure one exists.
Well, yeah, because one wouldn't exist, and then send it to Valve, and just say, "Can you help me with the promotion of my game, please? Look, I love game."
Maybe
and I think they would do it just on general principle of it being hilarious.
Did you see the bedspread? Like that one guy had?
No.
It's a day. His whole bed was covered with Gabe's face. You just see Gabe's face, and it was like the blanket and the pillows and everything was just Gabe. It's like, oh my god! I'm sure you could probably Google it and see it. It's fucking hilarious.
I have to.
It was like Gabe bedspread, probably. Although,
was it a picture of Gabe looking like he's worried? Or was it a picture of Gabe smiling?
He was smiling.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, it was one of the most glorious things, and there were people who were actually like responding. It was like, this is a little disturbing, guys. Like, maybe we need to be taking this seriously. Okay, all right, hold on a second. Like,
do you think there's like at the Valve headquarters there'd be like in case we see these people at any of the shows, be concerned, be aware.
Oh, is it Gabe?
That's scary, man.
Gabe bedspread. I'm sure that this will. Yeah, there it is. All right, first thing.
Put it on the screen because I'm laying back right now, so I'm not really looking. I'm not near the keyboard. I'm laying back drinking.
I have to be careful. I don't have safe search turned on, so that was a bit of a risk. But yeah, that was one of them. This wasn't the original. This is the original. There it is.
Oh my god. Dear Lord.
Yeah, one of those things. Thank you, Internet. Without the Internet, this would never have been possible.
Oh my goodness.
I remember this showed up on Reddit, and people were like, this is actually kind of disturbing, And like, and there were some people who were like, the PC Master Race has gone too far.
No, we haven't gone far
But
enough.
yeah, we haven't gone far enough.
Oh my God. See, the thing is, that poor kid is subjecting his mother to her putting it out on the washing line
Yeah.
and the neighbors seeing it and saying, that doesn't look like her husband. Like, who is this person?
Come to think of it,
Oh
this looks
my God,
photoshopped.
that's scary.
Hold on a minute.
Everything online is photoshopped.
Yeah, this looks photoshopped. Oh no. Don't tell me it's not real. Don't tell me it's not real. Oh wait, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna close this before I crush my dreams of the gay bedspread not being a genuine real thing. 'Cause I just can't live with myself if that ended
That's
up
an
being the
old
case.
picture, though. He doesn't look like that now. That's the 2005 picture, surely.
Oh yeah, this was a while back when this
Oh
happened.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that that'll get you favor with Valve maybe.
But yeah, just do some reading. In terms of the Unreal Engine, like I say, some people say it's really easy, some people say it's not. But there is if you have to add the plugin, I think, and then you have to deal with like blueprint stuff.
Oh, that's not that
I don't think
bad.
it's like I don't think it's like hardcore C++. But there is some tinkery stuff that you have to do and package it and blah blah blah.
Okay, if it's like
But
blueprint stuff.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think Steam make it, or rather Valve, Gabe. I don't think they make it easy, but then again, I don't think they make it hard. They want content. Valve want content. That's what they want. They want all of the content to be on Steam, so that they can make their money from there.
Yeah.
And which, as you know, is a phenomenal amount of money.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good. They're doing good enough where it's like, where's Half-Life 3? Well, we'll get to it. That's how much money they're making.
Oh, did you look at the other build, the geometry build
Oh. Hold on a
of
minute.
Unreal?
Oh yeah, for the level design. No, I haven't. I've been so focused on this that I haven't even, like, literally almost pretty much all of my waking hours have been devoted to getting this in as
Oh
good a
yeah,
shape
yeah,
as
yeah,
possible.
yeah. Oh sure. Yeah, it wasn't a grime. I was just curious whether you have,
No, I haven't.
because there was a live stream yesterday. Yeah, there was a live stream yesterday talking about 417, which just seems a little bit too soon to me. I don't know what you think about that.
I don't know. I mean, what is the new geometry tool? I mean, is it just going to be meshes, or I don't know. I'll have to see it. Like,
Well, that's really the thing. They were in the live stream yesterday. They were talking about geometry tool, and he was saying, it's not going to be in 417,
oh,
and so therefore don't worry about it. And it needs to go through UI and UX heavily, because it's a complete nightmare right now. It's too clicky.
hmm. Yeah, what I'm doing right now is not a problem. I would have had to deal with brushes. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm like trying to get this like little nib right here, but it'll work. I'll just get it. I just wanted to have a little bit, like some kind of like uneven surface in here, so like there's like a little thing to stand up on. That's just kind of what I was imagining.
Well, it makes perfect sense, because if you look at it, to me, that looks like if you worked in that room or in that environment, and you were a worker, and you wanted to get something up a slope, you would have a cogwheel as wheels, and it would go up there. So it makes perfect sense.
I'm not really sure what I might have to just do a pass like where I'm just creating new assets for decorations and stuff. Because I might actually just put like some kind of just basic loot. That actually would be a good idea, is have an additional stockpile. So I'll do, because these stockpiles are really nice. They give you a ton of resources for crafting something. And I just wanted to have something that's sort of out of the player's reach. That's just visible from below. Like, if you're here, you should be able to kind of see that there's something up there. I'll see if I can get it in the right spot, but I want people to like look up here and see something that they can't reach yet. So I might move this stack of boxes here.
What, do you want to make them desire to go up there, or do you want them to just pay attention to what's up there?
The idea is that if you show things that the player can't quite reach yet, it's an indication that either they're missing something, which will cause them to kind of search around after a little while, but they'll be aware of stuff that they can't reach yet. That means, in their minds, it'll be like, oh, it'll be accessible later on, or when they do find it, they'll be like, oh yeah, and then they jump down and they have this sort of like epiphany moment where it's like, this takes me back to here. I remember seeing that up there. Those little tiny moments add up, I think, to the player's overall experience.
Oh, I agree. I was just curious about how you wanted to, whether you just wanted to draw their attention to it, or whether you want them to see some shiny thing.
Yep,
like
the shiny thing. Not necessarily draw attention, but to have a player who's going to be searching around. So, like, it's like, what's this? You know, why is there... And you jump, and you see that object up there. Now I gotta make sure that it has a different progress tag, because it's not spawning. Stockpile 02. Now...
Oh, by the way, one of the things I was thinking... Oh, sorry, you carry on.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you what I was going to say in a bit.
What'll likely be up here is some kind of an additional item, like a blueprint for crafting something. Like, oh, that's the place where you go to get the, the rocket launcher thingy, or something like that. Like, I'm not sure yet, but like, in Dark Souls, it's pretty common where almost all of the secrets give you some kind of a unique item. So yeah, so you can see it up there. You're like, okay, obviously I can get up there, but how? Oh, how about like this? Oh, never mind. I nearly just broke my own game. I might have to be more careful about letting the player get that close. Well, I just broke my own thing.
Put a blocking volume on it and that will stop them.
No. Well, I mean a blocking volume, but it's not to be sure. Like, anyone who's persistent, if I was able to just uncover that like that, and I was just fucking around, then somebody who's persistent will figure it out. Figure out something else. So I'm just gonna have to move these boxes away. You can't mess around with a persistent player. Like players that see blood will find that blood.
Anyway, on to my point. One thing that stood out from the other day. And this was 4 days ago I did this, so I know a lot's changed. Is sparks. 90s sparks. I felt that this room needed some of that.
Like the sparks just like coming out of nothing, like or kind of coming down from the ceilings or something.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Like there's like welders sparks,
Yeah.
but 90s welders sparks, where it's It's not all cool and, high quality, but just big chunks of squares coming down. Duke Nukem style, but Duke Nukem, not Duke Nukem 3D, but Duke Nukem style. Also known as Commander Keen Part 5.
Yeah, it is. I wrote that down. One of the main holdups for this project has just been getting sounds and effects that I can use that are not being taken from like free content. Now, I'm willing to bet that a player who decides to be persistent is still going to be able to get up there. So, here we go. Well, there's definitely something up there. Here, let's jump on this. Let's jump on this. Oh, fail. I might have to just put a blocking volume just to just smooth this out so that you can't land on that. Because, damn it, man. If this was an intended secret, that would have been some clever shit right there.
Yeah, just go into the details tab and click add blocking volume, and it just solves the problem.
So I can go into details, add blocking volume. Oh, is it right here?
If you click a static mesh details tab, it should say add blocking volume. You might need to turn on advanced.
Sorry, so I'm in the details tab. Is it?
Oh, your stream is hold on.
I might cut off the stream actually, but I mean I covered pretty much everything that I'm going to be doing this week. I talked about all that stuff earlier on, and most of it is just going to be me chatting while I'm doing this kind of work. Like, I should probably do like time-lapse stuff like this. I mean, when it comes to like level design, why does somebody need to like see every painstaking second? Like, I could probably just speed this up.
Because it's really interesting.
It might be. Maybe.
Okay, so in your details tab, I'm looking on the screen now, you've got transform static mesh materials physics. If you look at the static mesh bit, there's a twirly down immediately beneath the icon. You click that, it should be in there. Say blocking volume.
Blocking volume. How did you know about this?
Oh, because I have all the twirlies open because I'm that kind of a person. I just need to see everything. But yeah, you click on blocking volume and it will just create a basic
That's so useful. That's so useful.
I know! Isn't it really useful? That's why they fucking put it there, Russell.
Well, I mean, not everything is useful. The only problem is I'm having trouble with bullets right now are getting sucked into blocking volumes. I haven't really solved that problem yet. But this does.
Oh, that's easy to solve.
Yeah, how do I solve that? Because, man, that is just annoying. These things
click on the blocking volume, and in there will be, you can customize the type of collision it is.
Yeah.
And you can select it to ignore projectiles, I think it is. So change it from invisible wall to custom, and then there's a twirly down in there to deal with the projectiles in a different way, to accept them or not accept them. I forget how it's especially set out, but yeah, it's there.
Where is ignore projectiles? World static one. Oh, there's another twirly down. Yeah, alright, here we go. Ignore projectiles, maybe? Nothing. Nada.
Your face is in the way, so I can't see.
Oh.
But yes, it should be there in Destructibles, Physical Bodies, Porn. Projectiles should be there because it's based on the blueprint for the game. So you should have projectiles in your weapons, surely.
Well, I'm using actors for projectiles. They're actors that do line traces.
Okay, then whatever object response you're looking for that particular item is the way you need to deal with it. So you either ignore them, overlap them, or block them completely. So they will bounce. If you block them completely, they will bounce off the, or not bounce off, but like you say, be absorbed by the blocking volume.
Yeah.
So it's all about that. I think probably a world dynamic is probably the thing to go for.
Oh, world dynamic would be.
Yeah, keep playing with it. You'll figure it out. But that's how you do it. You alter the preset.
All right, let's see.
And go into custom, but just keep toying. You'll get it. I'm sure it will be directly linked to the type of thing that you created for the guns and what the things are being shot. I think they are projectiles.
Well, let's see if I turn everything off so that nothing collides. Everything is totally ignored. Let's see what happens. Alright, so one of those settings will do something desired, but... Oh shit. I can't cheat. Oh, yes I can. Alright, so... one of these is gonna...
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
it's one of them.
It's one of those things. Yeah, because every time I use blocking volumes right now, like if you fire a rocket into the sky, it'll hit the blocking volume and it'll explode. It's like, why is the rocket exploding in the air? I need the projectiles to ignore all forms of blocking volumes. There's just no reason.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you set your blocking volumes, just select all blocking volumes and then set them all the same.
Yeah.
It's easy done, just like so many other things. So easy to do, Russell. What am I drinking? You're thinking. You'll never know.
So let me go ahead and just make this back what it was, and I'll figure out. It was just block all, right? That was a default. Invisible wall. Okay. I'll figure out.
Yeah, and invisible wall is the preset. Yeah.
Because it's probably something simple, like in the projectile actor, I just put a projectile, whatchamacallit, into it, component, and that'll probably, even if I don't use the component for anything, like it still classifies it as a projectile. That'd probably solve the problem right there, actually.
Yeah. Because they are projectile things. So yeah, you're stopping the projectile. You're absolutely right. You'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out.
I got it. So, alright, so that pretty much covers this. Now the game is officially broken. Until I fix the fast travel point, which still looks like a block mesh. I'll probably have to do an art pass on that, on the fabricator, and the just make them look like something for now. Give them some kind of a cool look. I'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff when creating new voxels for Dark Base. I'll be creating all kinds of new assets, so that'll probably pour back into this area, and there'll be even more detail, maybe hanging wires and stuff.
By the way, did you look at the Blender UE4 tools I linked several weeks ago now? I linked them for you in one of your videos.
What was the Blender tools? I think I might not have. I might have completely missed that.
It was integration. So if you work on something in Blender, yes, the video. Where did I link it to? It was when you started doing the voxel stuff, and you had a video and you were using Blender. And you weren't using the tools that were provided and endorsed, I believe, by Epic Games.
Oh.
That basically just mean the integration between Blender and UE4. The thing that stood out to me, I think was the scaling problem that you had. And you were dealing with scaling, and then Epic Games did a stream on it, and they were using these tools, and then literally like a month or a week later, one of the two, you were using it, and I was thinking, he's not using the tools. So I linked it for you, but it's on GitHub, so you can go from there. You can get the latest version whenever you want, and just compile it. And it's Python, isn't it? It's all Python plugins for Blender. So yeah, works from there. It's all cool.
Compiling Python. Oh god. Actually, so far the pipeline that I have right now is I haven't had any problems at all. Like getting all the assets in and stuff, even all the guns. Oh yeah. Did you see the? Oh yeah, you did see the guns, right? Like the minigun and stuff like that.
Oh sure. Yeah. No. Oh yeah. No. It wasn't that. It was just just really fast the way to do it, and it seemed to you like.
God,
yeah.
it's like
It just seemed
fast right now.
It just seemed like a little sort of a mini bottleneck that you weren't particularly happy with. I think your comment was, "I'm sure there's a better way of doing this," and I was thinking, "Yeah, there is."
Yeah, they're always. Yep. Let's see. So this is all in place. That seems like pretty high res, but anyway. Yep. Okay. So this is in place. Now I need to rethink this. So this sequence is going to be a little bit different. I might have to think about. So Sanctuary is going to be open. I have to rework the this aspect. I've been streaming for a little over 2 hours, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I might AFK, and I'm gonna kind of end the stream here. And I'm gonna be continuing to work on this because I want to actually pilot.
Yeah, no, no, dude, I totally understand. I'm gone. Don't worry about it.
Oh no. I mean, I'll be back in like 15-20 minutes. But
dude, it's 45 minutes time. It will be tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it's late for you.
Yeah.
So regardless, tomorrow we'll be looking at at least mostly or halfway arted out Dark Base. That's what I want to do, and I'll probably go through a host of other things as well. What's the video? I'm still looking at Jacoby's post in chat. More necromancers. What's the video that you linked, or the video where you criticized the hub area and stuff like that? Can I see that?
No, I haven't done it yet. I'm gonna wait until you do your new build, and then I'm going to talk about that. But honestly, succinctly, I just thought, shouldn't this be more like a church or a cathedral or a go-in, and it's the fabricator is at the end, and then on either side you've got stuff and things.
Yeah, because the way you enter it right now is kind of like this. I wrote that down as the first impression of the hub area is a box. I thought that was kind of funny, actually. So the first thing you see actually is not the fabricator. You see the first thing you see is the fast travel point. That's going this way. And then you go down this way, and a lot of players are going to be kind of led this direction. That's actually going to probably be a little bit of a problem, is that now what I've created is a funnel where players will go this way, and they'll feel like they need to get up here, but they can't, and they might actually even get frustrated. So I didn't even realize I was going to create that kind of a scenario, but yep, I just did. A lot of players are going to be like, what's all this? Yeah, whatever. Oh shit, I gotta get up there, and then just like start jumping into the wall, and oh man, this game sucks. I can't even get up there. Like, what the fuck's up there? I'm gonna get some of that.
No, I get what you're saying. I said to myself, when I first walked in the room, I hit a box, and I thought, what's the point in that? And then I looked at the room and I bounced and bunny hopped around the room, and I just thought that the whole design of this room is just off to me. It, the, what is the focus of the room? What is the point of the room? The point is the fabricator. The point is doing that. And then once I've done the fabrication, cool, then I go off and I do other stuff. Then I go off and go and kill people.
Yeah.
And I just felt like the central leading point of the whole room should be the fabricator, but it's not.
It's not. It's like off to a weird cubby hole
yeah,
off the side.
it doesn't seem. You're leading me nowhere at that point. When I first walk in that
In fact,
room,
I lead you to
Yeah.
this now, which is potentially bad. I think actually what I might do is I might shrink the room a little bit and make it so that when you come down the stairs, the fabricator's right here, and then there's like a back path. I make this feel like a back area. So like there's like a you know, you see the fabricator, you have the fast travel point, and maybe there's like room for like one more thing right here, and then maybe this whole section is just cut off. And yeah, like fabricator, like right here on a pillar, right center. And then if you decide to kind of go back around here, you can kind of see stuff off to the side, and you know what I mean? And that kind of changes the shape of the room a little bit. So like, yeah, like now when you look down, you'll see fabricator here, fast travel point here, and then like a kind of cool area right here. Maybe there's just like boxes or something, but like there's a wall. And that's
I
it.
remember the very first build. The way I said it was like a long time ago. I remember the very first build. No, I remember when I first did my commentary for you and ripped into it like the little bitch I was, and I talked about it. And that very first room, that, as I said, I think I remember saying to you, this is fine. You could put it here, put a workbench area right here. And it was dead center in the room, and it was this big, grand room, and I thought that would be fine, that would be perfect, just put it there. Lead me directly towards it, just paint the picture for me, almost to the point of telling me, this is the thing you need to do, this is the important thing, it's right in the middle of the room, it's at the top of a staircase, and I'm sure it would be bright and glowy, which it is, and go from there. And this is kind of a reverse of that.
Yeah.
And it just felt like a mess. This whole room just felt like a real clunky mess. It didn't feel like the room that it is. It felt like it was an actual level, a playable level to shoot things. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yes. That's maybe I need to rework the flow. What if when you come in here, this is just part of a hallway, and then you come down, and then there's like you know, these stairs right here are like right here, and you're here, and now like the first thing you look at is like, you know, fabricator, like the reveal.
White box it.
Well, in this case, I could.
Don't spend time on it. Don't spend time on it. White box it, and have a look. See how it feels. Just white box it, and once you've white boxed it, you can just replace everything with a few clicks of a mouse. But I wouldn't spend time redesigning this room just because one person had an issue with it.
Yeah, but
my point
my
stood.
understanding of it is that this is actually a valid problem. Like this isn't what you're saying isn't just something that this is something that I've thought about myself like multiple times. Like when you come in here, like the flow of this, and especially now. Because I know a lot of people who play this are they have a tendency to just keep moving forward, and they're just gonna be like, "What's this?" Like, okay, I guess I gotta go up there, and then just get frustrated. I need to change the way this flows. Like, the fabricator needs to be in a spot where it's super obvious. Like, this is what you're doing. This is the point of this area.
I agree.
So maybe even I might even go as far as to have the fabricator here, or something like that. I think actually, yeah, I can rework this area. I might have to just do that today. I'm just gonna rework it so that the flow is, you come in, you go down. Now you're here, and like, There's the fast travel point. The one thing I like about the fast travel point is that it's kind of it's on the side that leads forward. Because when you first enter the area, right, you're going this way. You know that nothing behind you is the way you want to go. You're going in this direction. So what you do is, you kind of come up here. The fast travel point will sort of signifies to the player that, oh, okay, this is not a convoluted thing. That is part of going forward. That is the forwardmost position in the room. Maybe even to a point where maybe I could dig this in a little bit so that it's just slightly nudged it over, and then have the fabricator in a really obvious spot. Yeah, I think I really do need to like kind of rework this. I mean, the fabricator could even really go like right here. The reworking isn't really all that crazy. Although a lot of this like neat space up here is probably gonna just go away.
My personal opinion, I think, was just that the room should have been bigger, higher ceiling, and I know that goes against what you've said, and I'm not saying you're wrong. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, hey, you're wrong. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that
I don't do that.
I felt that it was a clunky room, a bit of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't clear where I was meant to go.
Yep.
It didn't place enough importance on what that room is, and it felt like an FPS level.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I like the layout if it was an FPS level, but it's not an FPS level.
Yeah, it would be good for combat.
Yeah, it
Well,
would be
maybe.
good for combat. Yeah, I could have,
little cramped.
Yeah, well, they could ninja me from the roof, kind of come in through the ceiling, break through. That would be cool.
That would actually be
No
cool.
problem at all. But I didn't. Maybe, take the fabricator and the travel out of the room and put it in another room and keep this room for something else.
Nah.
And don't change it at all. Just keep it as. I don't know. But yeah, like I say, I felt the having it like a church or like a cathedral where it's at the top of a ramp and you've got stuff on either side. Like I say, very much like the very first level that I played, that you did on the build several weeks ago now, like a month ago now. That first room, that would have fine as far as I'm concerned. Just having it right there in the middle of the screen. This is the fabricator. This is the thing that's important, and then from there you can have travel from there. Right, you go and do your thing. I'm gonna say good night.
Yeah.
And
good night.
New build when tomorrow?
Well, next Monday will be the next build. So I should have all this stuff squared away by next Monday.
So 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to do a video on this for 6 days.
Up to you.
Dude.
Well, I mean, I can't do another. I mean, I could do like a mini build or something like that, but yeah, I've been just doing weekly builds.
Up to you. Up to you. Really is up to you.
Well, if I at this point in time, if I'm not doing weekly builds, if I'm not like totally busting my ass, then I'm not gonna be like. Everything's dependent on how like this is perceived and how I get it onto Steam and stuff like that, right? Like.
Okay, all right. Fair play. Fair play. I'm just kidding around.
There's gonna be a degree of self-sacrifice. There's really nowhere. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. That's my thinking. Anyway.
All right. So next week, build. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and I'll give you some up-to-date feedback. In the interim, I'm sure I might drop in every once in a while. But do you want me to do anything with your Trello? Do you want me to put anything on there, or just is it public? Or
you could type anything out. Yeah, it's public. Any feedback? Probably gonna be lots of typos and shit.
Not from me.
All of them will be mine. I own all of the typos. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end the stream now.
Cool.
I think you're the only one watching, unless that's not you. Is that you who's watching?
Yeah, I'm watching. So
Okay,
yeah,
so
probably.
it's just you. Alright, cool,
See,
cool.
the thing is, you had people watching, and then I joined, and they said, "Oh no, I don't want to listen to this guy."